like weeks
Yeah.
until they're the right weight and moisture content, and then after that they're chopped into shapes to have a handle put in them, and they look a bit like this.
Okay.
So that's a block of willow with a handle in it. Once it's like that, they are.
Oh yeah, this one's much lighter.
How long would he stay with this bag?
Well, you play that next season.
You could do. Okay. What about that, Mons? I think with you that it's going to last you a season and a bit. Okay.
So the question then is it seasonal? Yeah, is it pausing? If you're holding it here, it doesn't feel too heavy. So you want.
So we are here at the shop of Grey Nicolls here at the Lord's Cricket Ground, and we have been joined by Chris, who will now explain the process of making that delicate piece of willow. Chris, over to you.
Okay, so very quickly I'll go through the process. The process is we grow the willow, we grow all our own willow. That comes down to our factory in Robertsbridge, where it's cut up into clefts, which are the blocks of willow that bats are made from. Then all of those will be dried, kiln dried for like weeks, until they're the right weight and moisture content, and then after that they're chopped into shapes to have a handle put in them, and they look a bit like this.
Okay.
So that's a block of willow with a handle in it. Once it's like that, they are pressed. We run the roller over them to compress the face, and that presses down about a centimetre of willow down to a couple of millimetres.
Okay.
And all those fibres compressed to make a nice hard face, which gives you that lovely ping that you hear when you crack a cricket ball hard. Then from then, it's a matter of shaping it using the hand tools. All our bats are handmade. So using that, you create the lovely shapes that you see in cricket bats, and that's to reduce the overall weight, to adjust the balance, make the pickup great, get it all sorted, and then it goes straight out, it's waxed, stickers put on it, grips, bound, out to the shop.
How long the entire process takes?
Oh, that's a good question. It's hard to tell because it's a factory process.
Yeah.
It's not kind of done that one person does it from beginning to end, unless it's for a pro when you're selecting a specific wood. Normally what you'd have is have one group of the factory will be doing things like trimming the bits of wood to size, putting handles in. There'll be a specialist doing the pressing. Then it comes into the workshop where the bat maker will shape it, balance it, get that bat to the best as possible. He'll then hand it to some chaps that will do some sanding. Then it will go on to another thing to be labelled, etc. So it's kind of a long factory process. But the shaping of the bat to get the shape finished probably takes 40 minutes to an hour. Quite quick.
Okay.
Willow's nice wood to work. It's quite easy to work. Very simple tools. Bang, bang, bang. Get that. If you're making for a pro, like a bespoke bat, totally different experience. A lot longer.
They need more customized bats, I
Yeah,
believe.
so you're making a kind of bespoke, like a tailor-made service for a pro.
Yeah.
They have very specific requirements. So from that point, a maker like myself would go and select the willow that's going to suit that player. Will then handle it, do all that sort of stuff, and you're matching their bat. So you're trying to. They have a template bat. They'll have a very specific balance, specific feel, weight, everything down to the number of grains, all this sort of stuff. And you have to match how the bat feels in the hand.
Absolutely.
Which means you're constantly checking the bat you're making, because identical bats don't pick up the same. You have to balance them accordingly, and it might mean that the bats are slightly different shapes, even weights, but they will feel the same in the hand. Because what you don't want to happen is if they break a bat in the pitch, that the bat that they use feels different. It has to feel exactly the same so they don't change their stroke in any way.
Well, Chris, recently the ICC guidelines about the thickness, there are strict guidelines regarding the thickness of the bat. Yeah, the gauge, with the so much of T20 cricket happening, hit out or get out type of cricket happening. How do you balance it?
Well, the thing with the gauge is that, like, they wanted to bring in. There were concerns. There were concerns with the fact that big bats were causing bigger runs.
Yeah.
Now, I would think every bat person who makes a cricket bat would say it's not the size of the bat that's doing that. What's doing that is the strength and fitness of the players. The players now, compared to what they were 20 years ago,
Absolutely.
are a lot more aggressive, a lot stronger. They're on specific diets to get the absolute maximum out of them. The bats help because they're very high quality pieces of equipment, but restricting the bats, as we can see, hasn't really affected the amount of boundaries they get. And I would say T20 has probably had a big impact because it's the mindset,
Yeah.
it's the spirit that they go about playing the game is very different. I would say to show you the difference in the match, you look at the fielding compared to what it was 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
It shows you the sort of athleticism that's being available to the players. So it's not the bats, they're not the standout thing that's changed the game. The full game has changed to what it was like that time ago.
And like if one of your players, probably he's playing in the England, then again he will go to subcontinent, then he will play in Australia. They have different requirements.
No, not at all. So you might find a difference between players that live in Australia to players that play here.
Yeah.
You don't find touring batsmen changing their bats. So even in different formats, I think what players don't like change.
Yeah.
They like the bat. They don't want to think about it. It's an extension of themselves. So any change would mess up their movement, their balance, and all that sort of stuff. What you have found, as you've seen in like T20 and stuff like that, in the IPL, is players use their bats differently.
We can remember the mongoose bat.
Yeah. See, that was sort of made, and nobody really picked up on it because all the changes to bats come from the players, not from the makers. We don't decide to make the bat differently for the player. They say, "Can you make it like this?" A lot of pro bats now are an inch shorter in the blade because that's what players have asked us to make. So that's what changes the way the players are playing. And as we've seen in T20 IPL, what the players did is they used their usual bat that they're using in Test cricket, but they used it in different ways. They changed their techniques. They came up with interesting shots for the IPL. I think it's just improved the game.
Finally, which are the players right now Grey Nicolls is working with? I know Karun Nair is there
Karun Nair,
from
yeah,
India.
Karun Nair's great
Another players from around the globe maybe.
So you name it. We've got like Kane Williamson from New Zealand. You've got Harry Brook. We've got Zach Crawley. We've got Ollie Pope. Chris Wokes in the England setup alone. A lot of Australian players using Grey Nicolls equipment. South African players. You name it. They're all around the world. We make basically the best bats in the world.
Yeah, and the willow, English willow. Well, like, where do you have your own willow?
So we grow all our own willow. We have people that grow for us, where we'll go
in the UK or?
It's all English willow. It's all English willow.
Okay.
Then we also grow our own in our own big areas where we grow 1,000 trees, and we plant 3 for every one we cut down to maintain. And it means we can control our quality and it can control our price. And we're outside everybody else bidding for wood and stuff like that. We've got our own supply. Because what Grey Nicolls does is all about quality. All our bats are handmade. We grow our own willow. We can control the quality through every single level of the work.
Thank you, Chris. It has been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And Grey Nicolls, I wish you all the best. I know that you guys have been working really hard behind the scenes. You guys are the unsung heroes of the game.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good day.